Coming to you live from the Business RadioX studio, it's Franchise Marketing Radio, brought to you by IDS, an award-winning digital marketing agency that delivers integrated marketing solutions for franchisors, franchisees, and franchise development teams. Learn why over 75 brands depend on IDS's team of dedicated marketers and client service professionals to deliver a strong ROI on their marketing investment. Go to idsfranchisemarketing.com for a complimentary digital audit and consultation.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Franchise Marketing Radio. I'm your host, Rob Ganley. And today we have back on the show, a returning guest. I'm so excited. She is the Chief Dietitian Officer at Main Squeeze Juice Company. It's an awesome brand, up-and-coming brand, and they are rapidly expanding across the U.S. Welcome back to the show, Julie Canseco.
Thanks so much, Rob. It was a pleasure to return. I was excited to get the call.
Yes, exactly. No, it's great to have you back. And, you know, in a world that we live in, I think enough happens very quickly. So I'm glad to have you here. And I want to catch up on some excitement that's going on, not just for you guys in your world, but just in the world in general and how that affects how we do business and live. So we'll talk a little bit about that. For the audience, the benefit of the audience, tell us a little bit more about the brand, how you came to be Chief Dietitian Officer, and what makes you guys unique.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I actually co-founded the company alongside my brother, my husband, a couple initial investors back in 2017. I'm a registered dietitian by trade, but I definitely dabbled into operations and business management, kind of founding the company. And I'm sure if anybody has started their own company, they realize that you wear every hat possible, from the trainer to the marketer to the developer, procurement person. There's just been a really incredible experience. We founded in 2017. We've had so many ups and downs. We've had pandemics. We've had supply chain disruptions. It's been an incredible time and journey for me in working with the brand. I actually was then promoted to COO back in 2020. Been really managing the operations of our home office for about 3 years. And, Main Squeeze is at a really, really exciting time. About a year ago, we had an acquisition for about half of our company with our new partners, Conscious Capital Growth. And that's really allowed us to innovate every aspect of our brand, from the development process for our franchisees. That means saving them money, making the development process faster, to innovating our partnerships, our marketing, and then also allowing us to take new innovations and new risks. And so that's actually what kind of led me to my new role today. Again, I've been operating as the COO, which if anybody's done that before, they also know you're a little bit more behind a desk. You're kind of stuck behind all of the problems and, just obviously making sure that the company's running and everybody's got what they need to be doing, keeping things moving forward. And so I'm able to really and truly, the company's created a whole new role for me and a whole new platform for myself to be able to share everything about Main Squeeze to our customers. And we're doing that in a lot of ways. So as Chief Dietitian Officer now, I get to really use my background in nutrition and wellness, be able to communicate that through our menu. So I've always upheld our standards, but I haven't had the flexibility and the time to have creativity in our menu, so to speak. Yeah. Everybody wants menu innovation, right? Consumers are changing their eating behaviors. And so, again, allowing Main Squeeze to adapt to that, making us really attractive to customers, but also very, very attractive to franchisee candidates, because there's a lot of franchises out there now. Juice and smoothie bars they're up and coming more so than when we started in 2017, so what makes us different, what sets us apart. And then of course, impacting the customer base, getting them tied into a person and a brand and a personality, and also being able to really trust that product and experience. It's really what we're passionate about. It's what I'm extremely passionate about just as a person, professionally, personally. I really want to help people live their best life possible. That's really been like my mission statement. It's my goal. It kind of underlines everything I've done in my career. And I say that from our franchisees, in helping make their lives the best possible, our team members, to our customers, our home office, our vendors, really bringing that big picture is really important to me in this role. And then what's also really great is I also get to, in addition to the marketing and education and innovation, I get to create new strategic partnerships for the company. So, creating new products. Maybe we're innovating with licensing deals where we can actually have our smoothies nationwide, right? Through different delivery companies where we can, change different formulas. So we sell cold pressed raw juice, but what does it look like if we want to sell a supplement? that's a Main Squeeze specific supplement. Like, what does that look like? What kind of revenue would that drive to our stores? And a lot of my strategy is also bringing in fresh food into our system. So when I say innovation, that's I've got a pretty lofty goal myself of taking our fresh food category from about 5% to closer to 30% by the end of next year. And so we've got a very, very big, I know your eyes are wide and you understand how lofty of an ambition that is. But our CEO's got a lot of lofty goals for me. So it's good. But, again, that's what customers want. It's what, that's from grab and go, from delivery options, hot options, soups, everything like that. So we're kind of innovating and changing the game at Main Squeeze. So it's a very, very exciting time for me and the role myself, and definitely it has those ripple effects throughout pretty much every aspect of the brand too. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean look, I heard a lot of things in that, and I appreciate that detail because there's so much to it, I think is the point, right? But here's the simple point that you were making, and that is that it's about the guest experience, right? And I believe in the world today that the experience they have with Main Squeeze is almost like, this is like an experience where I can feel better. And not only do I feel better physically, but when I go and experience, I enjoy the process of feeling better, right? So like you could say the same for fitness brands. They do it too, where they want that whole experience to feel good while you're in the process of feeling better. And like if you're enjoying beverages or food or anything that's on the menu at a bar like yours, a lot of it has to do with feeling better, but enjoying it while you're doing it. And that is right? It's all the things you mentioned. It's how I buy it. It's how it tastes. It's the variety behind it. It's why is it good for me? Like, what are you dealing? Because there's so many new breakthroughs in nutrition and everything else that we have to keep an eye on. And I know, and we talked earlier, and we talked about technology too, and where that's headed and how that can hopefully bring a lot of new innovations around nutrition, right? So we'll talk about that here in a minute. So tell me a little bit more, though, in terms of a business like yours. You were in the operations side of it. If you are dealing with the menu, I know that in this world that you're in, you want to focus on the things that will matter most and will get the best results for everybody. Not only for of course, starting with the customer, right? Starting with the customer, but then it's the best result for the customer that will work best for the company and the brand so that you can continue to do great work, right? That's how you can get the best. The best products come from companies that can make money doing it. And we want to make sure. So tell me, how do you balance that? How do you balance making a menu that checks all the boxes, is innovative or is like flexible, if you will, but still you make sure you don't go too crazy. And that would be one of the difficulties of running a business like this, I would think, is just not getting into too much complexity where it's hard to make money and it's hard to keep up with and have that the level of quality. So tell me more. How do you manage that? How do you manage a menu, an ever-changing menu, but still make it profitable and deliver?
An ever-changing menu and really a shift in the focus of the menu, right? And I think that's, again, we really started when we started and founded Main Squeeze, juices and smoothies. We had about, I think, 10 or 11 juices, some milks, some almond milks, and our smoothies, our no ice plant-based smoothies that we had, maybe 11 flavors of each. And we didn't have any toast. We had no coffees. We had that. I mean, so we've actually innovated our brand quite a bit over the years, layering in toast, layering in coffees, adding in several more flavors. And then obviously you've got LTOs, right? All your limited time offers, like who doesn't want pumpkin spice right now, this time of year personally. So, there's always, there's been that innovation, but for us, and again, allowing me to really dive into this role, what's been really exciting is kind of like you said, how do you make it work, not just for the customers? Like, yeah, this sounds cool. It sounds sexy. It's, it's exciting, but how do you make that work for the business and the franchisees? And so a couple of things, that we have been doing is one, just basic analysis. A lot of the times we've been growing, and it's really, really hard to go back and dive through every single number of every single store in every season. Seasonality changes things, right? In terms of if it's hot or it's cold outside. And so, we're looking at the juices and the smoothies that are selling the most and those that are selling the least. And we're actually comparing those with the cost of goods, right? Like, is it worth it to make this juice if it's, the margin's not even up to our average? And we're like, not even, it's our bottom seller. Like, what's the point of bringing that in? But our customer is looking for something, like there is a need for this, right? Like maybe it's a no fruit green juice. That's one of the things we're looking at right now. When we have one ingredient that is just a total pain to procure. I mean, like our franchisee, they're like, this charge, Julie, is so difficult. And so, it's innovating. It's still getting what the customer wants, like what they need. Like, again, it's great to also, if you have a business, you need to spend time in the business. You need to talk to the customers. You need to know what they're looking for. I mean, there's surveys and everything like that, of course, but understanding the experience. And again, that's what we've been afforded to do, launching the company. And so, like I said, taking the analysis and like actually where the sales and also like the units and the revenue, right? So, our acai bowls is actually our top revenue generating item in the system, surprisingly enough, but we're a juice and smoothie company. Our number one in units is a juice, so it's just really interesting to kind of see what's generating the revenue. How much time does it take to prepare those items? Does it take more labor? Does it take more equipment? And also you can't put add-ins in a juice, but you can put add-ins in a bowl, right? And so you're kind of innovating the menu with opportunity in mind as well. I think that's what's really exciting again for us too. And then again, for us, you have to be aware of the shift in consumer behavior and specifically habits with their discretionary spending right now. A lot of people are still willing, and it's funny. I mean, we all look at ourselves and our home office team. We're fairly, we're like, I would say we've got Gen Z, millennials, and some Gen X. We've got a pretty good range in our home office, which, so we've got a wide variety of everybody. And, we're still willing to spend money on meals. It's where a lot of, in terms of convenience, hey, like we're working really hard. Like I need DoorDash. I mean, I'm a working mom. I have a toddler, so I need it a lot. And so, but, I will say discretionary spending, like treats, like breakfast, like little things like that you can do yourself. People are like kind of holding on to a little bit more. And so, what we're trying to do is get creative with that. So it's not a treat. It's not something special. Whereas a meal. So again, more bowls, more toasts, expanding our toast line. We've got a vegan plant-based breakfast sandwich that is truly going to change the game for our system. I had one for breakfast this morning. It was so good. And being able to innovate that in the system, because that's what people want. It's what people want. They will pay for something that they can really eat and feel like it's a meal. And so being able to really find a way to, again, not just, hey, it needs to look good in the numbers and it's what the customer's like currently, but like, what are the trends saying in the market right now? Like, what is everybody spending their money on and how has that changed? And I think, part of that's understanding seasonality from that even too, where restaurant business is very seasonal. We know when juices sell really well, that's when we're going to plan our LTOs for juices. We know when it's cold outside, we need warm things. So we're going to do more hot foods. We're going to be implementing a lot of fresh foods and warm foods for about half of our system by the end of this quarter of this year, which is extremely exciting. I mean, something as crazy as like vegan nachos is what we're looking at because it's just what people love and they can eat and you can buy a juice and a smoothie right alongside it. So getting extremely creative with the menu, what the customers are looking for, but, always using the numbers as kind of like your foundation. And you just kind of start investigating from there. Right. And I think the other layer, the other layer I would say is, having a really good core franchisee base that's willing to experiment right alongside. They're just as excited. They're just as passionate. They're just as innovative. We have our franchise action council that, we kind of utilize for that. It's about 5 or 6 stores with our franchisees that kind of work hand in hand with our executive team. We hope that they're the voice and the breadth of a lot of these initiatives. So nobody wants to be like forced to do something. You want to be like excited and you want to be on board. You want to feel like you're a part of the process. And so the people in every phase of what you're doing. So as much as updating them on your initiatives, getting their feedback, but letting them try it first, letting them give you that feedback throughout that process to really enhance it through and through for everybody.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, that's the key but the key of everything you just shared, I feel, is that if I were starting a business and I wanted to get into this space, I don't know where or how I would ever keep up with what you described and do it well. Because you made it, it's like, look, you've got to do some research first. You have to, first you're interacting with franchisees. The whole network's always innovating, thinking of ideas. Then you're taking that idea through a process. And then you look at it from a business standpoint. You interview your customers, or maybe the customers are also bringing some ideas. But you go through a process of vetting that and seeing, how do we deliver that? How do we market, sell, and deliver that? And there's a lot of check boxes you have to think through, and adjustments that need to be made. And who's doing that? Who's doing the work is the point.
Yeah.
And the point is, there's no time to do that work when you're running an independent business. And that's one of the amazing things about having a brand behind you like this.
Yes.
And one of the cool things about what you're describing is really a destination that people can go to where they feel pretty good about pretty much whatever they're eating. Doesn't matter the time of day. Like for me, it would be one of those go-to places for several different reasons. Like pre-hike beverage, like before I hit the mountains. Mornings I go and I get my breakfast sandwich, like whatever that is. But it feels like consumers want health. They want to feel better. They want to have more energy. They want to live longer. We know better now. Like, you know what I mean? So like you're on the forefront of that, even though it's a little more fun. You don't have to be all serious, but about nutrition when you walk into a main street. But I mean, that you get that feeling. I was joking. I was joking with someone at a Whole Foods recently, of all places, right? And I'm joking because I felt like anything I bought there, whether it was a cake or cookies, or I just felt like, well, it's probably a little healthier, whether it's true or not.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the feeling I get from what you're building with your brand. It's just, it's a good, healthy place to go eat, and for different reasons. So tell me though, we were having a nice, robust conversation that I think is a nice segue to this. There's a lot of new technology on the horizon. We hear a lot about AI, and we talked a little bit about just the idea of the brand itself having more capability to be what it is, which is this personality of health, if you will. Maybe some fun in that. Like the brand has a personality, right?
Yeah.
It wants to help me as a consumer. And so how do you interact with people and give them more value? Is there a way to do it now that we have some new technologies that are appearing on the forefront? Maybe there's new ways of doing things to, again, enhance what you're already doing, which is deliver value to your customers. So tell me about some of the ideas you guys have been thinking about, ways that you foresee this working to better serve your customers. Potentially, you had said kind of cloning yourself or being there. Like if you could just be always awake and sharing information, how would that look? But yeah, tell us a little bit of how you see your brand evolving with this new idea of technology around AI. But tell us about your technology though, because this isn't new for you guys. You guys have been doing some really advanced stuff that, again, it's all about making the customer's experience better,
right,
and helping franchisees run a better business so that they can do better work. Tell us a little more about all that. So start with AI and then kind of just give us a little bit of what you've been doing, because I know it's pretty cool.
I think, again, I get so excited at the opportunity of being able to impact more customers and, more lives. I mean, that is just, to me, again, like personally, professionally, it's a really, really core piece of who I am. And I also think it's what people are craving. People want information. They want education. And so, one of the things that we would really love to implement, again, cloning little Julie's, like we have self-order kiosks at all of our locations. It would be so incredible to have an intuitive chat or intuitive voice and being able to like talk through the menu. Like we have recordings, which is great and it's interactive, right? But how can we make that personal? When I'm at a juice fridge, I don't just recite off, hey, this is the ingredients. And I'm like, hey, well, what kind of flavors do you typically like? Is there anything that you have aversions to? Are you like new to juicing? So, being able to really get to know the customer and cultivate a more customized experience. And because that is what people want. They want to feel special. They want you to remember their name. They want, all the things that make us feel great inside. So that's, one way that we're looking at elevating the in-store experience, because look, our team members work really, really hard. Our products are handcrafted, they're handmade. And as much as we want them to be able to talk and touch every customer's life, like that can be hard on a $5 smoothie day. It gets a little crazy in there. And so, being able to do that, also being able to relay that excitement to even just the team members. Your team members are like your greatest voice for your brand. When you talk about rewards programs and loyalty programs, they're nothing without your team being really, really excited and passionate about the brand. We've got a manager who Main Squeeze has changed her life. I mean, she's lost over 90 pounds and she's wasn't going to be able to have kids. And she has a baby who's about 6 months old now, I mean, and yeah, she's working for our home office team and helping us expand in new markets and training new stores. And so, it's that kind of stuff really does translate. So like, how can we get that education information to everybody so that they're then the voices too? Again, when creating mini Julie is great on AI, but that has ripple effects in the communities, in the teams. And that's just the in-store experience alone. I think, with technology, I mean, I'll definitely touch, we've got a ton of fun technology in the Main Squeeze brand, but whether it's just having AI to take phone calls, again, taking some burden off the operation and being able to like have a voice and a person and someone you feel you can speak to. You have questions about a juice cleanser. Hey, do you have this in stock? Or what are the ingredients in this? Because maybe you're driving, maybe you're like me and you got a toddler in the back and you don't want looking at it.
Why should I care? Like the whole why should I care? I love that. Like some of these ingredients that I'll see, like I'm the last to know. Like I'm not always like the first guy to know about the new trends.
Yes.
But like I'm like, why? Okay, why should I care about that thing that they're saying is in everything now?
Yes.
But like just being able to say and be able to say, well, this is my situation. I'm a runner. I'm in my this age range, or I'm an athlete. I'm advanced. I'm a professional. Like there might be different reasons to use different things. And who has time to just take their time in that conversation and maybe even the knowledge? Now with this advancement of our technology, we can lean on AI to better communicate for us, right? And to share more of those details that are there. There's a reason for it all. But it's like to take the extra 5 minutes would be quite difficult, especially on a $5 smoothie day or whatever you said that was. But I'm just thinking of the $5 foot long that they finally had to stop promoting at Subway. Right?
Yes. Well, no, and you're so right. We get diabetics, we get people looking, going through fertility treatments. There's so many people that are really using food as medicine. And again, that's really one of our core, it's really like our core vision is food as medicine, focused on plant-based and simplicity of ingredients. But it is funny. I mean, I crack up when people try to pronounce acai, like they've never said it before, but they read it. It's actually like one of my favorite like icebreakers for the customer. It's hilarious. It is. I literally put the pronunciation on some of our posters just to like make them feel more comfortable. It's definitely a way of doing that. And then, nutrition is evolving and, nutrition, because it's a science, and it's constantly innovating. And that's what, again, allowing me the time and the platform to be able to be a part of that innovation and bring that innovation quickly into the system. Because again, look, I'll be real, without me in this role previously, Rob, it's been really difficult to make quick changes. It's really hard because you're stuck doing all the other things for the business. So that's what, we're excited about. We hope our franchisees can get really, really excited about, again, having somebody at the forefront. Potential candidates can be excited about being kind of ahead of the game and ahead of the science and, being the pioneers in health and wellness. That's not just, hey, like you think this is good, it's at Whole Foods, it's a cake, but like this stuff really is great for you. You know what I mean? Like there's function and there's benefit. I used to joke Whole Foods used to be my happy place before I discovered Main Squeeze, and really like you just you feel good about yourself when you're there, right? Like I'm making a great choice because I'm here and I'm buying this for myself, for my family. But Main Squeeze really is that for so many people. And it's what's super exciting. It's why we have people that are customers that start working at Main Squeeze because you get a free product when you work a shift at Main Squeeze. Like, and they love that. Like it's a part of their life. It helps them heal themselves. And so, it absolutely allows that to happen. And again, nutrition really being at the core is very different for our brand. It's from a lot of other concepts out there.
I think so. Yeah. And I think you're, if I were looking at the category of business that you are, I would say that is where you want to be, is at the cusp of making sure you're building products. And I say building because it's a lot of details that go into these simple things that I slurp on. But I mean, core products that make people feel better and literally give them better health over time.
Yeah.
Like that. If you're doing that, I believe you're in the right exact place you need to be while people are enjoying the food. Like that's because none of us really, I'll be honest, between you and me and everybody else listening. The reality is when I look at products now, I actually care about every detail on the box. I care about where it's coming from and what's going in my body. So both, I care about the approach of everything that's being sourced, right? At least we're knowledgeable about the process. And then I care about what's going in my body from a health point of view. And I think this is now a thing where it's only going to get more and more like that. I don't think we'll see a day where we have really bad things in products. I don't think that'll happen much longer. No. It almost sounds silly to say that you would put bad things in your body that are on the box saying all these bad things are going in your body right now. Like I'm not talking about sugar either. I'm not just saying just a lot of sugar or a lot of salt. I'm saying all the other things you can't pronounce, right? So, like,
absolutely.
I think you guys
all the additives,
right
all the preservatives.
Yeah, right. You're at the cusp because I think consumers are just going to stop buying these things. So the more and more products will be more accountable to health. And so if you're not already making that about what you're doing, then you're probably going to fall behind fairly soon. So good luck. And the AI, I think, is another, I got to commend you.
Yeah.
Knowledge and the way you're managing your team and the leadership behind it, because that will be a big advantage for all brands to leverage AI in some way, right? To just better support their audience and their communities. So tell me, before we wrap up, I like to make sure I zero in a little bit about the kind of person you guys look for, because it seems like a very cool, cutting edge, technological and nutritional kind of business. So that's already attractive to me. I like that kind of business. And it sounds like it's also a business that you feel pretty good about it. Like it's a good product. And there's probably stories that you just mentioned earlier about an internal person, like a person that works with you guys that lost a lot of weight. And we know obesity is a huge issue. I'm not saying it was obesity, but just being overweight is a huge issue for all of us, right? And so that's huge. But to be in this business, you really can be in the community, partnering really in that side of the community that says we're healthy. Like you could almost partner with other medical professionals, dietitians, nutritionists, doctors.
Yes.
Right. There's, I would guess. I'm not, and maybe I'm going a little off here. My main question is, who is the person you're looking for? This is obviously a great business model where you can help people is where I was going with that, right? It's not put anybody under the bus with things that taste good, but sometimes they're not as good for us. Some people prefer business models where they know this is actually really good for people. So tell me, what does that look like though? I mean, that's easy to say all that. Who's the real person you look for when you're looking for folks, and what should they be thinking about if they wanted to do a similar kind of a business?
Yeah, no, and I think, we have met so many, we have our current franchisee base, and we've met several in the candidate process as we've gone through the history of Main Squeeze. And, one of the things that we find is kind of the common denominator for the successful franchisees is really those that like bring the passion and the energy to the brand itself, right? Like, whenever you're passionate about, and I'm not talking like you're a vegan and like you're super healthy and you work out all the time. That's not it by any means. But, people that are passionate about bringing something to their communities, right? Being a part of it and driving it. That means that you're out in your community sharing that message. Those franchisees bring their business so much higher than somebody who's just, I'm just going to make a product. I'm going to serve a product and it's, it's okay. I really think you can still do well like that. But I will say the most successful franchisees that we've seen are ones that are extremely passionate, because that passion exudes into every aspect of the business. They're passionate about the numbers. They're passionate to make sure that their costs are in line. They're passionate to make sure that their labor is in check. They're passionate to make sure that they have a top-notch team, creating that experience and making sure they're passionate about the cleanliness of the store and the floor. And they're passionate about the quality of the products that are being blended. And, oh no, that cauliflower is not blended all the way. We're going to reblend that before we serve that to somebody. That really, that's a huge, huge piece, and so that does, look, it requires energy and it requires time and definitely, a lot of initial sweat investment, I would say, in your brand and your business, because that nobody is going to care about your business the way that you do. I tell people this all the time. You can, and I will say that's why we have certain stores that have managers and they get kind of equity shares and profit shares, like actually tying them into the business in a way that gets them excited. That works very, very well as well. But we've got candidates they have other concepts and like, yeah, I just don't feel great about bringing my kids to there, like I just don't want to do that all the time, and I would really love to be able to like share something with our community that's like great for them and on the forefront of health and wellness. And so, I think it's actually a really great complementary business to a lot of other, people that are franchising. They typically actually, there's a lot of groups that do multiple different franchises, right? From whether it's burger concepts or chicken concepts and all that other fun stuff. So it's an incredible layer to come in. We also have a lot of franchisees that have been like in the fitness space and kind of complement this, which works really, really well. Because, for us, it is about balance. I always tell people we're not vegans in our office. You do not need to be a crunchy granola juicer, as people would typically think, like taking wheatgrass shots every day. Okay. Not by any means. I know. I mean, trust me. Hey, if you can, power to you. Okay. That's great. But, being passionate about the product, a lot of our initial franchisees were passionate about the product. And it's what speaks to who we are as Mean Squeeze, the quality of our products, our menu, what we're bringing in. But, I think as times have changed, again, what we've just seen over the years is those that are excited, that excitement exudes into like literally every aspect, from the financials to the grassroots marketing. I mean, it's incredible to see what that does. So whatever you do, if it's Mean Squeeze or if it's starting your own company, I tell people you have to go all in. You can't be hesitant. You can't be fearful. You can't be doubting yourself and doubting what you're doing. You have just got to like lean in and have faith in yourself, have faith in your brands and your team that you're building, because that is what's contagious. That is what excites people. That is what's going to bring you to the forefront. And actually, it's probably what's most memorable to other people about you and your business too, and so it's definitely one of the things that I share a lot in interviews and with I have a dietetic internship base that I precept for. And it really is, because that's contagious. Like there's a reason I'm high energy in a store, because it gets people excited. People want to be alongside that. So channel your inner Buddy the Elf and on all aspects, right? So, but yeah, I think that would definitely be some of my top candidate, not experience requirements, but really like one of the top things that exudes success and, really is going to be what brings you to the next level in whatever you do in your business.
I have to echo it. Everything you said. I mean, I know. I mean, I think what is unique about what you said, though, for me, is that in my life, I can relate to the idea of belief, the power of belief. When I say belief, I mean belief in the air, belief in water, belief in the sun. Right? Like, it's going to happen. You have strong belief. As close as you can get to that, the better, with clarity of where you're going. Now, a franchise gives you those things. Now, in general, right? You have to find the ones that you really resonate with. But here's the deal. To believe in Main Squeeze, right? I need to believe in you and to believe in the menu and believe in your processes. And that's the gift that you guys get. Right? And I have to point that out, because you can't just, the thing that it is, it's like you can say, I'm into health. I like helping people be healthy. That part you can be. But you can't necessarily find a brand that you could put on a foundation. When you find the right brand that says, they take that to the next level, that's what you're looking for, right? Like that to me is what you guys do, because I can want to do that all I want, but if I can't keep up with the quality of product and what the latest health breakthroughs are and ingredients are and what makes things taste better, even when they're healthy for you, like it tastes just like ice cream, but it's like really good for you. Like we'll all be better, right? And that's where we're headed, is hopefully a world where it actually tastes really good to be healthy. It's like,
healthy's not cardboard anymore. It's very exciting.
Yeah. And I think, I was, I don't know if I was listening or to a podcast or reading something, but they were saying that technology right now, they're estimating, with AI being obviously a big part of this, that a quarter of a year is added to our lives something like that. So if I'm already 40 years old, it could add, another, what is that, 10 years to my life expectancy. So that's what they think because of all the goodness that is headed our way in the coming years. Part of it is already here if you're eating right and just the ability to go to your business, right? Come on, let's face it. Like I never had that option 30 years ago to eat that healthy, So
no, definitely. And healthy definitely wasn't convenient. And that's a lot
it wasn't convenient. It didn't
so we
taste
feel
as
very
good.
passionate about. Yes. Yeah.
Yes, my grandfather was an immigrant from Italy, and he had his own garden, and he understood how to eat healthy, him and my grandma. But like you talk about, like that wouldn't fit a lifestyle today. Like trying to
Right.
keep up with that. So, but that's the way you got to do it, right? Is almost grow it yourself. Um, but anyway, it's been great talking with you. I appreciate you sharing that with the audience. Please share the best way that folks can get a hold of you guys if they're interested in maybe learning more about partnering with you or starting a
Yeah.
business in their area. What's the best way to get a hold of you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can check out, a great landing site where you can find all the other things is going to be our website. So that's mainsqueezejuiceco.com. From there, you can learn more about our franchising opportunities. So that's mainsqueezefranchise.com. You can learn about our technology, which is our app. Our mobile app is really incredible. We've got geofencing technology. It allows you to interact with the menu. You'll see videos of me and a lot of the products as well, the nutrition, FAQs, rewards programs, just if you want to interact on like that customer experience base. It's really, really exciting. You'll also find links to our blogs and our posts. So, posts from me about nutrition and education. You can find all of our channels on Instagram and Facebook, mainsqueezejuiceco.com, or mainsqueezejuiceco, excuse me, is our Instagram and our Facebook handles. And we've got a lot of exciting things coming. We acquired a new juice bar earlier this year, and we're converting all like 5 of them within a 60 to 90 day period. We just did one last week. We've got our team deploying out today to another. So we'll see if there's one coming very close to you very soon, which is the hope and the goal as we expand into more states and more regions. And you can find us on LinkedIn, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. It's all under Main Squeeze Juice Co. But we definitely encourage you to go to the website. There's a lot of great information, and download the app, the Main Squeeze mobile app. It's a really awesome experience, and definitely we joke we had the geofencing before Chick-fil-A did, honestly. So we know we're onto something in terms of experience and technology.
Yeah, no, I'll vouch for that, you guys, and I would recommend that if not only if you're nearby. But if you're interested in a business, I think this is a great way to get acquainted with this opportunity because this is what we're talking about. One of the simplest things we've been talking about this whole conversation is that if we give someone something that tastes good, that makes someone feel good, and they share it more often, there's your business. And pretty much every amazing franchise follows that process. So, but the app is all about making that happen. So check that out, everybody. Reach out. Learn more. I always encourage our listeners to do so because just interacting with you guys would be a great education on the space and the industry and the model. So thank you so much, Julie, for joining us today. Appreciate your time. And I'm definitely going to have you back on. I want to know more about where the brand's going from an AI standpoint and with all this amazing stuff we can do with health, with just the idea of sharing the best way to enjoy your products, really. That's
absolutely.
That's what I'm interested in. And but anyway, to our listeners, thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Franchise Marketing Radio. I'm your host, Rob Ganley, and bye for now.